Hi friends, welcome to Asana. For today's practice to start, if you have a block or perhaps a rolled up blanket or towel or maybe even a little pillow, please bring that to the mat to start. It's the only time we'll really need a prop, and you can do this initial pose without the prop. It just might help you open your back a little bit. So bring the prop about 3/4 of the way down from the top of the mat, maybe a little higher. And we're going to lay down on the block with the block landing just a little underneath our shoulder blades. You might have to figure it out once you get down there, but I'll help cue it there as well. So it's kind of in the middle of my back. And you want to make sure the back of your head is resting on the mat. So make sure it's not lifted. Your head is on the mat. Your tailbone is on the mat. The lower back, the very tip of your back is on the mat. So walk your feet in, soles of the feet on the mat, and then open the knees wide so they drape towards the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, if you feel uncomfortable here, you can remove the block. You can do this without it. Or if you feel like you need a different setting, please feel free to move it around and test what feels good in your back. Maybe you feel like you need to move it up or down, adjust it a little bit. I find that if the top of the block meets just the bottoms of my shoulder blades, that's kind of a comfortable spot for me. Release your arms by your sides. Allow the palms to face up, or if you prefer, you can bring the palms on the bones and just allow them to rest there. Do what feels good in your body. And then begin to close your eyes. Let's start to go internal, connecting with our breath and maybe setting an intention for our practice or for our day. Holding on to that, meditating on it while you breathe. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Now start to straighten your legs out on the mat, flexing your feet, staying in this back bend. Perhaps you've got the block, perhaps the mat, or the rolled up towel is beneath you. That's okay. Now from here, I want you to just start opening your neck up more so that the top of your head comes to the mat. Now walk your hands in by your sides, pushing the elbows into the mat so you can help lift up your neck a little more, opening that neck, and the top of the head comes to the mat, finding fish pose. Just a little more open here, a little more extension in the spine. Perhaps you want to really push up onto those elbows a little bit more and even lift your back up off the block. So you're still in a back bend, but you're supporting yourselves with your forearms and the top of your head. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Allow yourself to really start to come out of this by putting your back down on the block and using the block so that you can untuck your head and come back onto the back of your head now. Then push your forearms into the mat to start to lift your back up, and then come up onto your hands all the way into a seated position. Remove the block from the mat or the towel, or if you've got it, and then roll back down onto the mat. Bring your right knee into your chest. Flex the left foot. Try to wrap that right thigh around the outside of your right rib cage so that you could bring that right knee closer and closer to your right armpit. It's as if you could bring it down and tuck it inside of it. And then keep your left hand on your right knee while you extend your right arm to the right, perhaps making a goalpost or cactus arm if you don't have enough space. And from here, simply pull the right knee across your body to the left, finding your spinal twist. Try to melt the right shoulder blade down onto the mat and continue to send that breath through your body. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Long, deep, but soft breaths. Allowing your body to open and release. If you find any tension, connect with your breath and just know that you're okay. Your body is feeling what it's feeling. And as long as it's not pain, if it's a little bit of stretching, you're doing the right thing and you're okay. Just allow that release to happen. It might be very, very gradual, or you might feel yourself going deeper with each breath. Then slowly come back to center. Stretch the right leg long on the mat. Bring the left knee in towards your chest. Flex the right foot. And now start to bring that left knee down around outside of your left rib cage as if you could tuck it into your left arm. Continue to breathe, taking those deep inhales through your nose and long exhales through your nose. Keep your right hand on your left knee and extend your left arm out to the left. Then start to pull that left knee across your body to the right, finding your spinal twist, trying to melt that left shoulder blade down onto the mat, and trying to just allow yourself to release in your spine as you twist. Allow that stretch to happen. Allow yourself to just enjoy this as you breathe and you feel the sensations of your body. Perhaps you would like to close your eyes here, or perhaps not. Do what feels good for you. Take one more breath. And then move into center position. Extend your left leg long on the mat and extend your arms by your side. Arms overhead and give yourself a big stretch. Stretching your toes down and your hands up. Finding the length in your body. And then slowly start to lift your hands, keeping your arms by the side of your head. You start to roll your head up with your arms, then start to roll up your shoulders, roll up your back, lift all the way up to a seated position, Dandasana, with your arms overhead. Spine is straight and long. Find the length from your tailbone to your crown. And just sit here for a moment as you breathe and find that length in your spine. Now continue to hold on to that length, but on your next exhale, start to stretch it forward. Don't come down yet. Don't release your hands to the mat. Just continue to stretch forward and try to keep your arms in line with your ears. Perhaps you have to walk out the fleshy bits from underneath you. That's okay. Continue finding the length in the spine. And maybe with your next exhale, come a little deeper, keeping the back long, finding the lift as you even go deeper. Inhale for the length. Exhale, find depth perhaps, bowing a little further forward but keeping a flat, straight spine. Inhale, find length. Keep those arms by your ears. Exhale, find depth, perhaps bowing a little further. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bowing. One more inhale, lengthen. Exhale, this time release your hands to the mat. Around your feet, maybe they're on the sides of your legs. Just find the stretch in your spine wherever you are in Paschimottanasana and breathe into it, perhaps going a little deeper with each breath, or perhaps just allowing yourself to find a little more peace and tranquility wherever you are as you stay there and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands in towards your midline so you can lift your spine up straight and long, finding Dandasana again. Good. And then pull your right knee into your chest. Pick up the right ankle so you can cross the right foot over to the outside of your left knee. Keep your left leg either extended or you can bend it and bring the left heel towards the right sitting bones. And then cross your right arm in front of you so you can hook the elbow on the outside of the knee. Bring the right hand behind you so it's just on the mat where the base of your spine is. And then you can find your twist in Ardha Matsyendrasana. Finding length and finding depth. Try to really find that long spine on your inhale, like you could pull up from the top of your crown. And exhale, perhaps twisting a little deeper. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Then come to center. Uncross your legs, extend them out in front of you again. Bring the left knee in towards your chest. Grab the left ankle and pick up the left foot to put it on the outside of the right leg. Keep the right leg extended or bend the knee to bring that heel in towards your sitting bones or towards the outside of your hip. Make sure you're not sitting on it. Find length and then cross your right arm in front of you so that the elbow hooks on the outside of the knee. Place the left hand behind you on the mat at the base of your spine and find length on your inhale and depth on your exhale. Inhale, draw up, and exhale, twist. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, length, and exhale, depth. Take one more breath here. And then uncross your legs, turning back forward to center. Good. Open your arms up and overhead. Find length in Dandasana. Just feel that feeling. And then bring your hands down by your sides. Cross your ankles in front of you and then walk your hands out, shifting the weight forward, coming into tabletop position. Make sure your shoulders are right over your wrists and your hips are right over your knees. Then inhale, drop your belly and look up for cow. Exhale, round your spine, look down for cat. Inhale for cow, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, tuck the chin, look down at the navel. Inhale for cow, look up. Exhale, round the spine for cat. Look down. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Open the knees wide. Send the hips back and down. Take child's pose. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Try to make a resting child pose here. Try to let go of the activity. Just allow yourself to breathe here. And then gently walk your hands to the right, finding a lateral stretch. Bring your forehead back down. Try to bring both forearms onto the mat. And try to keep your hips low on your heels. Then gently walk your hands to center and then to the left, lowering your forehead back to really root those forearms down. Keep the hips on the heels or towards the heels. And walk your hands to center. Walk them back slightly, just enough so that you can pick up the right hand and slide it under the left arm, like where the armpit is, sliding it over to the left. And then lowering your right ear down to the mat, finding this threaded balasana, threaded child's pose. And then you can maybe walk that left hand out in front of you a little further. Try to keep your hips low here. Maybe reaching that right hand a little further towards the side. The palm is facing up. Keep breathing. Walk your left hand back slightly so you can push it into the mat. Lift your right ear, unthread that arm. Right arm comes back out in front. Thread the left arm underneath the right, sliding it out to the right side and lowering the left ear to the mat. Perhaps walking that right hand forward a little further and stretching that left hand out to the side. Hips are coming low down towards the heels, perhaps on the heels. And you breathe as you stretch your spine, stretch your back. Walk your right hand back slightly, push it into the mat so that you can lift up your left ear, unthread this. Come back to regular child's pose, head comes down onto the mat. Lift your hips up, come forward into Sphinx pose, bringing your hips down to the mat, and then forearms walk out, elbows come just under the shoulders, forearms press the mat away so that you can really lower those shoulders, relaxing them down, gaze is forward so you're not hyperextending your neck. Walk your right hand back slightly so it's just outside of your chest. Push it into the mat and slightly twist to the right. Come back to center. Walk that right hand forward, again coming into Sphinx. On your next inhale, walk the left hand back so it's just under your chest. Push it into the mat, twist to the left. Come back to center, walk that hand forward, Sphinx pose. Forearms are on the mat, gaze is forward. Slightly start to walk both hands back, coming into seal. So only walking them back as far as you can while still keeping your shoulders low and finding a back bend. If you find yourself hunching your shoulders up, walk those hands forward some more, maybe even coming back into Sphinx pose. Then bring your hands down around your chest as you lower your chest down to the mat. Push the mat away, lift your hips up and back. Come into child's pose. On your next inhale, lift your hips up. Come into tabletop position. shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale as you open your right arm to the sky. Little twist. Exhale, thread that right arm under your left, sliding out to the left, lowering your right ear to the mat for threaded tabletop. Try to keep your hips lifted here, stacked over your knees. Perhaps walk your left hand forward on the mat or keep it where it is. Take another breath. Then walk the left hand back, push it into the mat, unthread the needle, come to tabletop, lift the left arm towards the sky, look up, and then thread the left arm under the right, slide it to the right, lower your left ear to the mat for your threaded needle in tabletop position. Staying here or perhaps walking the right arm forward. Continue to connect with your breath. Then walk the right hand back, push it into the mat so you can unthread your needle, coming through tabletop. And from here, keeping your knees where they are and your hips where they are, finding that stacking, just start to walk your hands forward. Walk them so far forward that you feel the need to lower your elbows to the mat, and then lower the elbows down. Perhaps slide them a little further and lower your forehead onto the mat, coming into puppy pose. Perhaps in puppy you can even bring your chin down, bringing the chest closer to the mat, allowing your heart to open here and just melt down. Push your forehead into the mat so that you can lift up your elbows and then start to walk your hands back towards you. Walk them all the way back to in front of your knees so that you come up to a kneeling position. Tuck your toes under. Make sure your knees are about hips width distance. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Open your arms to a T. Inhale, come to center, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, arms come to a T. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, release your right hand down towards your right heel. See if you can touch it. Keep your hips pushing forward. Find a slight back bend. Keep breathing. Come to center. Exhale as you twist to the left. Release your left hand down. Try to touch your left heel. Little back bend. Push the hips forward. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, look up at your thumbs and push the hips forward as you find a slight back bend, perhaps coming back a little deeper. Try to keep those arms in line with your ears. Push the hips forward, find camel. Only go as deep as you can while keeping those hips stacked over the knees or perhaps in front of the knees, but not going behind them. Then come up. Release your hands onto the mat as you lower your hips down to your heels, coming down into child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. Good. Inhale as you move forward into tabletop. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, come into down dog. Tailbone goes up and back. Let's walk our dog, bend the right knee, then the left, then the right, and the left. Keep going. And then pause, lowering both heels towards the mat. Walk your hands back slightly so you have a shorter dog, and then reach your right hand back to grab reach your left hand back to grab your right ankle and find a little twist. Perhaps you have to grab at the calf. Just reach to wherever you can. Try to look up under your right armpit, looking up at the ceiling. Release that, bringing your left hand to the mat, and then reach back with your right hand, grabbing the left ankle or the left calf, looking up underneath the left armpit at the ceiling. and release. Walk your hands further forward, lengthening your dog. Then inhale, move forward to plank. Lower to your knees if you want to take a gentler version, and then exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, take a back bend, either cobra or up dog, hips down or hips lifted. And then lift your hips up and back, tuck your toes, and come into down dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bend your knees, look forward. Gently step to the top of the mat. Take a forward fold. Inhale. And exhale. Keep your weight shifted forward into the balls of your feet. Maybe micro bend in your knees. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Slight sway from side to side. Release the hands. Inhale as you lift up halfway. Lengthen your spine. Then exhale as you fold. Inhale, rise up while at the same time lowering your hips, finding chair pose. Try to wrap your ribs in and point your tailbone down towards the mat. And then inhale, rise to stand. Slight back bend, look up. Exhale, hinge forward and bow, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, bend your knees, step back to plank. Hold it on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, take a back bend, cobra or up dog. Then exhale, as you tuck your toes under, shift your hips back and up, down dog. Step your right foot forward in between your hands, spin your back heel down, and cartwheel your arms up and open to a T for warrior two. Good. Flip your right palm up, reverse your warrior, bringing your right arm overhead, left hand comes to the left thigh. Come back into warrior two. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot, arms come overhead, come into crescent lunge. Bring your hands together at heart center. Twist to the right and try to hook the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Perhaps stay here, or maybe open up the arms wide, right arm pointing towards the ceiling, left arm towards the mat. Bring the hands back to prayer. Untwist your body so your gaze is forward and release your hands to the mat. Straighten the right leg and release the left heel onto the mat for pyramid pose. Walk your hands further forward. Try to bring that forehead close to the right knee or the right shin. Plant the left palm onto the mat at the inside of the right foot and open that right arm to the sky, finding your revolved pyramid pose. Keep the hips square here. Try not to let that right hip to jet out to the side. Come back to center. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot, bend your right knee. Step your right foot back to the back of the mat. Lower chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips go up and back. Down dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Spin your right heel down. Cartwheel your arms open to a T, warrior two. Inhale. And exhale. Flip your left palm up, reverse your warrior, left arm overhead, right hand to right leg. And come back to warrior two. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot as you turn forward, arms come overhead for your crescent lunge. Bring your hands to heart center and then twist to the left, hooking that right elbow on the outside of your left knee if you can. Either stay here or perhaps open your arms wide, left arm towards the ceiling, right hand towards the floor, finding a deeper twist. Bring your hands back to prayer. Untwist your crescent, lift your torso. Then bring your hands down to frame your left foot. Straighten your left leg and spin your right heel onto the mat for pyramid pose. Maybe walking your hands further forward on the mat and bring your forehead close to your Plant your right palm on the mat at the inside of your left foot and extend your left arm to the ceiling. Opening up for your twist. Release the left hand to the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. As you bend the front leg, step the left foot back to meet the right. Hold your plank on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, open the knees, send the hips down and back. Take child's pose. Inhale, move forward, come all the way down onto your tummy. Open your arms to a T. Bring your right hand in now, bending the right elbow only. Right hand comes just to the outside of your chest. Kick your right foot in towards your hips. Push your right hand into the mat so that you can start to come to the left onto the outer edge of your left hip. Lifting your right knee and stepping that right foot behind you on the mat. So the sole of the right foot comes down behind you on the mat and you'll find a twist. You're on the left hip here, rolling onto the outer edge of the left hip. Left arm is still extended out behind you, straight out to the side. You can either stay here, or if you want, you can start to reach your right arm up and maybe behind you, finding a deeper stretch. Then come back to center. Untwist your body. Extend your right arm out to the right and bring your left arm in so the left hand is right underneath your shoulder. Kick the left foot towards your hips and then push the left hand into the mat so you can roll onto your right hip. Stepping that left foot behind you. Left knee points up at the ceiling. Left foot is on the mat. Perhaps stay here if this is already a good stretch and twist for you. Or maybe you want to raise that left arm up to the ceiling and maybe start extending it behind you so it's kind of stacked in line with your right arm. They're probably not touching, but they're on the same plane of movement. Center and untwist your body. Good. Push your hands into the mat. Open your knees wide. Come back into child's pose. Lift your hips up. Cross your ankles behind you. And then walk your hands back so that you can release your hips behind your feet. Then scoot down on the mat if you're at the top of the mat. Grab your block if you want. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to take Shavasana. So Shavasana either with the block like we did at the beginning of practice, so you have a little back bend, or you can take regular Shavasana. So whatever you're taking, start to get into it. If you're doing it with the block or with a blanket or towel, bring that block so that the top edge is about at the bottom of your shoulder blades. Back of your head is on the mat. Extend the legs long, open the feet wide. If you're not using the block, just lay down on the mat, extend the legs. Make sure you have enough space between your legs so your feet are maybe as wide as the mat. Open your arms out to their sides. Make sure there's space between your arms and your rib cage. Palms face up. Let everything go. Let it melt away as you close your eyes and start to let your body just decompress as it integrates everything you just did in your practice. Allow yourself to take a full minute here to rest and breathe and just let go of everything for a few moments in Shavasana. Gently start to bring your awareness back to your body, to your position on the mat, to where you are. Keep your eyes closed, but make your way into a seated position, perhaps bending your knees and bringing the soles of your feet to the mat and reaching up to grab under your legs and slowly taking a gentle roll up, or perhaps rolling to your side and pushing up. And then come to a very simple position on the mat, an easy seated position that feels really good in your body. And allow your hands to rest wherever they naturally fall. Keep your eyes closed, connect with that breath, and maybe reconnect with the intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, palms come to touch, and bring the hands down in front of your heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with us today. Namaste.